Another learning session in regards to the explosive pull-up. I have not figured out yet exactly how I am to perform this movement in the most efficient way possible. So I was trying to get the timing right when I start swinging back in order not to counter the momentum with my pulling motion. And I think I was doing a better job at this than the previous times. But then when I'm looking at the way that I pull myself up, maybe I do not leave enough space for my elbows to fully pull back, and so my upper back has to round out a bit in order to make space for everything. So I will still have to play around with this. But going from an explosive stuff to a strength movement almost straight away, I did not really do much in terms of resting in between these things. It was basically a superset. So I was going into handstand push-ups negatives. And this first set that I did was not really that good. I was not really able to hit a good handstand, even though I did a bit of a warm-up. I don't want to do too much because then I may be feeling it in my wrist. This one was a bit better. And then as I was going into the second set of the explosive pull-ups, again, I was feeling like my movement was not very fluid. I was starting from a good position, but then the back kind of goes out, so I'm not really able to pull in a diagonal way. I'm pulling more like outwards only, not going as high as I could, because I believe that I have enough pulling strength. So again, I have to perfect the technique to learn how it really goes. The second set for the handstand push-up negatives was much better. This first one was good. Wasn't able to go into a second one straight away. I recorded the whole thing because it gives me an idea of how many times I actually have to go up trying to get into a good vertical. This is something that should probably improve as time goes by. This was a good one, because otherwise, if I'm doing too many attempts, I'm getting fatigued and I'm not able to do the exercise as it is. I probably should do it against the wall. At the same time, I feel like nothing can replace freestanding. And so maybe it will take a bit longer to get it done, but I feel like this is the way that I want to do it. Then I went into the lower body part of the session, and I was really focused on getting the technique right. So my stance was a bit wider, my feet were pointing outwards a bit more than usual, and I believe that these first few repetitions I was able to do a good job. My front rack doesn't really move my torso forward too much. It starts here on the fourth rep, and maybe the fifth one does a slightly better job at that. But I was really trying to let my body fall onto my heels, which is something that I am not focusing on. It doesn't come naturally to me. I feel more comfortable going forward, pushing with the ball of my foot and with my quads, and maybe it did put too much strain in the past on my knee, and this is something that I have to improve. The second set was somewhat similar. Maybe I wasn't able to keep as upright as in the first one, but these first few repetitions look okay. I am thinking about looking up with keeping my head up high, almost looking up, and really letting the torso fall down and almost trying to sit onto the heels. This is something that I really need to practice, but I think I was doing a better job than before, and the weight was moving better. I was feeling it more in my quads. I think that technique-wise, I am improving if I'm looking at this session. And the usual superset with some core stuff, hanging leg raises. I'm going up to 20 here, and yeah, I keep saying that I'm gonna add a weight to the end of my feet. I always forget. No big deal, I guess. I was doing some low raises and I went up to 6 kilos in each hand. I was using these dumbbells. They weren't even the same kind. I could not find the same stuff. And at that point, I was at the end of the session. I really wanted to get it done. But I was able to do 12, 11 repetitions. I'm not used to the dumbbells, and in this occasion, I felt like they were a bit more cumbersome than the plates. But it's just a matter of getting used to this. As I'm adding rep, I'll get better. Ciao.